Pastor Jeff Ziegler, Ziegler. Thank you once again for this opportunity to be here with you this evening. A little bit of background on me and my family. I met my partner Scott a little over 9 years ago. Within 5 months we had 2 kids. I was in the process of becoming a foster parent. Over the years we have fostered 6 children and have been able to adopt jointly 2 of them. And that's part of why I'm grateful to be in the state of New Jersey, where that was possible long before it was possible in other states and still not possible in many. There are many obstacles on that journey, including caseworkers trying to sabotage, a judge that refused to do our adoption when he was doing every other adoption that day. But a week before we adopted our first son, Scott and I had a church service where we made promises to one another before God and gathered friends, to love for each other, to care for each other, to be committed to each other. We did that a week before our first adoption because, well, we're just old-fashioned that way. We felt it was important to make those promises to one another and seek God's blessings on our relationship before we became adoptive parents. As for civil unions, they're not the same as marriage. The most important way in which I am aware of that is because of our dinner conversation this evening. Our kids, Mark and Quan, Q-U-A-N, discussed it with us. They're 10 and 8. They were thinking of coming this evening, but thought it was stupid because you weren't going to change the law tonight anyway. They're concerned that why does not the state of New Jersey recognize what we in our family know and what God knows, that we are married. Now, a number of years ago, when domestic partnership became available, we registered as domestic partners. So instead of having no legal status, Scott is now my domestic partner. Civil unions, I suppose, is a way for us to upgrade our legal status, but by having it as something separate than marriage, it is quite clear that's all it is, a legal status, and not recognized by anything more in our society. When we went Christmas shopping last year and was encouraging the kids to buy something for their daddy Scott, I asked them about their ideas. What do you think he might like? And each one of them separately said, I don't know. He's your husband. What do you think he wants? In our family, we are married. And so the language that we choose to use is that, yes, we are married, and the state of New Jersey refuses to recognize that. If you have better ways to explain that to an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, that would be helpful to know. Another piece is not only am I a pastor, where faith comes into this for me as well, that what God has blessed, you're unwilling to bless, or not bless, but recognize legally, and there's some hurt in that. I know that legal recognition in the state of New Jersey does not mean everything's fine everywhere. For when we travel as a family, we have a whole file of documents we take. Because as we traveled to visit my mom in North Carolina, we go through states where we have no idea what we might face if we end up in a hospital. And so one time when we forgot to bring the birth certificates and the adoption certificates and the domestic partnership and all the legal stuff that we've got, my mom didn't understand why we needed all that. We are treated differently in New Jersey and elsewhere. Finally, I'm here not also as an elected official in the state of New Jersey, as I serve on the Stratford School Board. Every year since I've been elected, I receive a financial disclosure form, which elected officials in the state of New Jersey receive. The instructions are very clear as it asks for my sources of income and the sources of income for my spouse. It's got legal definitions on a sheet attached to it, where it is clear that the spouse is the person to whom you are legally married. It's an example of a very specific form from the state of New Jersey, where not only are rights withheld from people in gay relationships, domestic partnerships, civil unions that are not marriage, there's also not the same requirement of responsibilities for financial disclosure. I want both. Thank you.